On this
Let's go, man. What the fuck is up? Y'all ain't ready for this. It's me. I'm the best. I'm literally the best to ever do this shit. And y'all want to talk about something. Listen to other podcasts and shit. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? The fuck? Zach Lowe's podcast. I don't want no nerd shit. That nerdy ass shit boring. And then the Rockets really played well. They've been pushing the pace lately. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. The fuck is up, man? Fuck we got today. What do we have? The Heat are back. The Florida Fireballs have now got theirs. They're not the seat heaters. They're not hot ass. How about that? They're not hot ass. We're back. How will these standings turn out? How Bruce Arians retires? Does that affect us really? Does it? Let's get into it, man. Listen, the Heat versus the Celtics last night, an absolute playoff atmosphere, an absolutely incredible game. That game was amazing. And you see what happens when Robert Williams isn't out there. And that the Time Lord is a huge piece of that team. Because you have so much athleticism out there as it is. Marcus Smart. Defensive end, just natural athletes. Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams, a versatile defender. He looks so laterally slow, but he's so big. He's good at bellying up. And then you have Robert Williams. They got 5 athletes, and without him out there, you lose that in the offense. The lob threat at the rim. The guy that ain't getting cooked by Bam. Bam had, I think, a 14-point almost triple-double, like 14, 9, and 8, 16, 9, and 8, something like that. And the Time Lord, Robert Williams, is a real rim protector. He is, man. He's a real rim protector, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. I truly don't. But the Heat, all right, what did I say? Victor Oladipo this, Victor Oladipo that. But what was my main point? Why is Max Strus not playing basketball? Why is Gabe Vincent not playing basketball? Why are we rooting for that man? And look who's right again. Who was right again? Victor Oladipo doesn't play a goddamn second, and we beat the hottest team in the NBA. Them and the Mavericks. We beat the hottest team in the NBA. Without Victor Oladipo. Wow. The guy who's the most right about his team on this entire planet, the whole world is right again. I'm right again. There it is. Toot my own horn. Toot toot. I'll do it again. Toot toot. That's what I do. Because when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, goddamn. Don't let me get into that. But I spit all over this mic when I was turning up. You know, I just saw it. I saw what was happening. A dude that was scared to shoot in Victor Oladipo. A guy that was almost trying to force something that he is, but he isn't. Like, Victor Oladipo isn't a pass-first player, and he tried to force that. A dude that isn't ready to be on the court. And next year, I hope he gets well, like I said in the previous podcast. You know what? Put the clip in. Strus is getting his minutes tapered down while he was on a burner. Max Strus was on a burner this whole season. Max Strus has just improved. It was at a point where I thought he could take Duncan Robinson's spot in the starting lineup. You see? Why was Max Strus not on the court? And now we have, with our shooting guard position, it's just a rotating door anyways, right? It was Depot, Duncan, Strus, and Tyler Hero, the combo guard. And now we've really dumbed down. Sorry, I've been drinking. It's Nia's birthday. Shout out Nia. We'll get to her in a second. The combo guard with Tyler, and now we've dumbed down our rotation now. It's become a playoff rotation. Tyler's coming in with 4 minutes left, 5, 6 minutes left sometimes the last 3 games in the first quarter, which he never did. He would come in with like 1 or 2 minutes left, maybe the beginning of the second, and now he's getting in there earlier and earlier as time progresses. Kyle Lowry is now being efficient. Do I need to put that clip in? Put the clip in. So I'm not going to hate on Kyle Lowry. He came in. He's coming to play right now, and I expect his numbers to drastically go up as we get on this late season turn. Okay, Kyle Lowry is averaging 17 points on over 55% shooting his last, I believe, 7 games. What are we talking about? Once again, toot toot, honk honk. I'm right again. I know this team, man. I know this team better than anybody out there. All the insiders, everything. I'm confident in saying that. I've watched every fucking game of this team this season. 75 games, whatever it is. 76 games, whatever it is, I've watched it. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see come back on track. Because you can say, it's just 2 games, Hunter. You're right. You're totally right. But after a 4-game skid, when it looks like you have the confrontation, the season looks like it's ending damn near. You're at the end of the season where we're about to get into the playoffs. And like I said, we got to beat some of these good teams. We get blown out by 30. Lost by 15, something like that to the Nets, but it was a 30-point lead when the starters were in. And then you start going, oh, fuck. Well, and the thing is, I can say we're back now, but what happens if we lose the next 4? Then I'm back on the Florida Fireballs. They're the Florida Fireballs again. Like, I'm going to say it. It is what it is. But, hey, that happens. But the Heat look great. The Heat look fantastic. With Max Strus in the starting lineup, we're not scared to switch. The one problem I have is Dwayne Dedmon right now. His pick and roll defense is horrendous. It's awful. It's just terrible. Call a spade a spade. It's bad. It's horrible. It's trash. I just think that, it's not good. He doesn't know when to switch. He's too slow to really get back, but he uses fouls. People like Kris are asking, why isn't Yurt getting minutes? He was balling. He was all at my TL. He's Shaq. The Shaq numbers. He didn't say he was Shaq, but I'm saying like the Shaq numbers. Well, Yurt ain't ready, man. Let's just keep it a buck. I think Dwayne Dedmon gets let go. We get Yurt in there, and we see maybe a 2-man lineup. And I saw something that was very interesting last night, or yesterday evening, whatever. Jimmy Butler at the 4 with Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, and Duncan Robinson, I believe, out there, or Max Strus. I love that lineup. I love that lineup. You got 4 pick-and-roll threats. You got Kyle Lowry, who's shooting the lights out right now, who really won us that game. He drops, I think, 25 points, 9 assists. Like, he was out there hooping, man. He was hooping. Jimmy Butler holds Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum combined to 4 of 11 from the field. Oh, was it 4 of 11 or 2 of 11? But either way, he was clamping. He was clamping. That's what Jimmy's going to do. He's a great defender, and I think Jimmy has responded to that confrontation very well. Very, very, very well. He has played lights out. He comes out the first game after the confrontation, drops 30 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and he has continually played well. When before that, I told y'all I thought he was kind of lollygagging. I thought he looked like he was just lollygagging to get to the playoffs after All-Star break, and this is when you got to pick up the intensity. And Spo, once again, Spo in a playoff series, like Kris said, Kris was over here like, as much as people troll, Kris, Landon, and me, we kind of give each other boost ups. Like, yo, we don't really kick. I mean, they kicked me when I was down. You know, it was more of me kicking myself when I was down, so they couldn't. But Kris was like, dude, you got Spo in a playoff series. And he already made an adjustment in the season. Max Strus comes up with a block, a charge, and another charge, I believe, in the fourth quarter to close it out and just win us that game. That was very, very impressive. Great win for the Heat going in. We got the number 1 seed now. Hopefully we can dodge the Brooklyn Nets, but we'll see about that. We will see. Now, today was Nia's birthday. Okay? I took that beautiful woman to a park. Just a random park. No, this park was actually one of the coolest parks I've ever seen in my life. It had like a fucking rock climbing thing. It was, oh my God. My neck is snapping. It had a rock climbing thing. It had like the coolest playground. It was humongous. It had like 4 baseball fields, a pond. We were right by geese. It was really cool. Went out there, had a nice picnic, had some mimosas. I'm still drinking. You know, I'm turning up in this house. Woohoo! It's Thursday, bitch. But I'm saying it on the podcast now. I'm not drinking till my sister's wedding. My body will deflate, right? My body will deflate. I will lose probably 4 to 5 pounds from not drinking. And I know you think that's crazy, but you know how many empty calories I put in my body by drinking whiskey? I mean, how many? We're on episode 82. I didn't even say it. Welcome to episode 82 of Shooting the Shit with Sands. 13 minutes in. You know, I've talked about my weight at least on 78 of the 82 podcast. Like, Hunter, we get it, bro. You're self-conscious, okay? You're fucking fat. And there it is again. But yeah, I think that I'll deflate like I always do. Like, I didn't drink for about 2.5, 3 weeks. And for some people out there, you're like, oh, what an accomplishment. For me, that is chip-worthy. AA chip-worthy. You see, I got a fucking whiskey Coke in my hand right now. But I like to drink, man. What's the problem? I stopped smoking weed when I was 19. Is that a problem? You stop smoking weed and people start judging you for your other vice. Listen, bro, I knocked off the one that was holding me back, okay? This one's just putting pounds on. All right? Jesus. Now, Nia's birthday. It always turns into me, right? I'm a piece of shit narcissist. To Nia's birthday, it was an amazing day. We had a great time, man. It was just so fun. I love hanging out with her. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I truly, cliche as it is, I'm in love with being in love with her. She's the most amazing person. Her and my mom are some of the most amazing people I've ever seen. Went out there, had some laughs, had a good time. We got on the swing. Here she is coming inside. Went on the swing, you know. Talking about going to the park, babe, with you for your birthday. Went on the swing. Felt like I was 5 years old again. We had but I wanted to say the half R word kid. A half autistic kid, that's even better. A half autistic kid. They had a microphone. Why can't I say that? She said, Hunter, really? If you're going to talk, you got to talk into the microphone. Really? I mean, the kid. So they have. Oh, damn. Nia's a behavioral tech, and, you know. Can I talk about it? She interrupts my podcast so much. That kid had half a brain. He was not a savant at anything. There was the microphones. I don't know if you've ever seen this. They have like big pipes in their microphones. If you're going to be on the podcast, get on the podcast. She's flipping me off. This is horrible. There was this kid. He saw there was these microphones that go into the tube on the playground. She's killing me right now. She's killing my flow. There's the microphones that go on the ground and you can talk from across the playground to each other. And there was also this random concrete thing that looked like one of the microphones. And while we were leaving, me and Nia were talking on the microphones as we leave. This kid's just talking into a piece of concrete. He's not even talking. He's just like, hello. His grandma was out there. Grandma, can you hear me? And I'm like, no, she can't. You're talking to fucking concrete. You might as well talk into the fucking asphalt, you idiot. But, you know, he was probably 4. He was probably a 4-year-old. Brain isn't fully developed. I think my brain fully developed when I was 7. I probably couldn't talk till I was about 4. But, you know, hey, I'm in college at 27 now. I mean, we all have our paths, right? You do it at your own pace. Comparison is the enemy of success, right? Is that what that is? I don't know the fucking phrase. Anyways, listen. Nia's a beautiful, sweet, great woman. I love looking at her when she walks away, even though I hate to see her leave. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Hopefully no relatives listen to this podcast, but I love her to death. I got her a waffle maker too, and some Snow Allegra tickets. Let me flex, hey! Let me flex, hey! But, you know, it was a good birthday for us. We had a good time. And it's not over. It's fucking like 6 o'clock or some shit. It's not over. I'm potting through her birthday. That's what I do. You do something as a man, you hang out with them for 3 hours, and you think that's a good 2 weeks worth. We're fucking stupid. But on to the Bucks. The Buccaneers have an issue here, and then we'll get into the seeding of the playoffs, and I'll find something else to talk about. The Bucks, it isn't an issue. Bruce Arians, ma'am, can you close the door? Thank you. Goodness, I mean, guys, I'm sorry. I know. I'm having side conversations. She is not on the podcast. If she wants to get on the podcast, she is more than welcome to get on the podcast. God, Bruce Arians retired, the head coach of the Buccaneers. Tom Brady comes back after 40 days of retirement, so we'll go with the 40-day stint for Bruce. It's not there yet, right? It's not over. He is a older gentleman. He's 67, I believe. He dealt with cancer previously, beat it. Shout out Bruce. He's a dog. We all know how great Bruce Arians is as a coach. He is a pioneer of the modern offense, right? We've all kind of forgot what he did with Ben Roethlisberger. Andrew Luck, I believe he was on that staff. Like, you know what I mean? But Tom likes meticulous guys. Tom, I think, wanted him out, and I think it was a combo of him wanting him out, not going like, fuck Bruce Arians, I don't want him here. But if he's on the edge of retirement, how about we kind of give him a job to get paid and get him the hell out of here, right? But also, Bruce thinks Todd Bowles got a bad rap in New York, and I think he did too. What are you going to do in New York, man? Whoever takes that job, Robert Saleh, you can have fun with that, bro. And I think Robert Saleh is probably a good coach, but we don't know. You'll never know who's good in New York. No matter what you got. Sam Darnold has proven to be dog shit. Zach Wilson has not. Correct? Sam Darnold got with Matt Rule. It doesn't work. He has weapons. It doesn't work. But Tom came back. Bowles is the coach of Tom Brady now. And I think this is what I have thought was always going to happen, a transition period with everybody. There's only two options that can happen here. This is either for Todd Bowles to move on and become the head coach of somewhere else, or what I think is going to happen, Todd Bowles moves on and goes, Todd Bowles gets an extension, right? Sorry, I'm a little drunk, okay? I'll be honest. Todd Bowles gets an extension, stays with the Bucs, or he moves on, goes and head coaches another team, and Byron Leftwich, this is what I think they want. I think Byron Leftwich becomes the coach of the Bucs very soon. Very soon. I have not looked at... If you're looking at coaches' contracts, bro, you're one of those guys I just talked about. Right? Zach Lowe's podcast. I'm the best in the world at this, Zach Lowe. The Rockets have been pushing the pace lately. They're really going crazy, man. Look at the Kings. Shut the fuck up, man. I'm sorry. I don't want that nerdy shit. I don't want it. Some of my friends do the nerdy shit, but they're good at it. You know what I mean? They got something in them. They at least have a passion. They at least have a fire about their team that they're talking about. Not going 1 through 32, giving bits and pieces of what's different and unique about them. Like, I don't give a fuck what's unique about the Heat. Yeah, they play great defense. Their pace is slow. But what about the Heat matters? You don't really talk about it. They don't talk about it. Anyways. I think what this does for the Bucs is nothing. It changes nothing to me. No offense. Bruce Arians, Clyde Christensen, and Tom Brady, Clyde Christensen, and Byron Leftwich were the catalysts to change that offense. It was not Bruce Arians. They had to do some convincing. So Byron Leftwich became the play caller. What happened? We became successful. We looked rusty. We looked bad. And I do believe that stretch of those dog shit teams, I think it was like the Panthers, the Falcons. Like, we had some really bad teams at the end of the season when we won the Super Bowl 2 years ago that really made the offense what it is. And I just truly believe in Todd Bowles. I think he'll do the defensive coordinating. I want to see who our new defensive coordinator is. I don't know if they've announced that yet. But, excuse me, whoever it is, I still believe Todd Bowles will do that side of the ball. You know what I mean? And then we got Byron Leftwich once again. We have familiar faces. We're not going third party or anybody outside the organization to plug in at the head coaching position, and that's totally fine with me. I'm cool with it. I think everything stays the same, and I thought it was very telling that Tom Brady was in the front row of the press conference while Bruce Arians gets told he's in the ring of fame, where the fuck it is, ring of greatness, where the hell it is, all those overrated Cowboys on top of the stadium, all that shit. The Buccaneers have one too. Ring of Honor. I was just, why did I shit on the Cowboys while I couldn't think of the words? You know, pretty petty of me. But in part 2 of the podcast, I'm going to talk about these East standings. We got something to talk about with these East standings, right? Something to talk about very badly. Hopefully, the Raptors look great. They got a big win over the T-Wolves. And, yeah. So, have to see how that goes. But we will be right back with part 2 of Shooting the Shit with Sands, episode 82. Thank you. All right. Part 2 of the pod. We're going to talk about some East standings here. So, with Miami in the 1 seed, as a fan, there's a couple teams you don't want to see, but that's later in the playoffs, right? To get out the first round, all we are scared of, honestly, being a Heat fan, are the Nets. I'm not worried about anybody else but the Nets. Too much star power. Very scary. I'm looking at these standings right here. The Hornets are a half a game out of the Nets. So let's go look at the Hornets schedule. Let's go look at the Hornets' remaining schedule. They have the 76ers in L to me, us in L, the Magic, the Bulls, and the Wizards. They're probably going to go 2-3. Best case scenario, they go 2-3. So I don't know if they're going to make it. Let's go look at this Nets schedule. Oh my God. The Nets schedule had the Hawks. They had the Bucks today. I'm watching that game in 30 minutes. The Bucks, the Hawks, the Rockets, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Pacers. With the Nets, you don't know who they can beat and who they can't beat. They show up some nights and sometimes they don't. But I think Kyrie and KD know what's up. You know what I mean? I think they know it's time to get going. So we'll see what happens. But I think the Nets end up taking that 8 seed. Oh, God. I think they end up keeping the 8 seed, but they're only 2 games back of the Cavs. So this is so deep. Let's go to the Cavs schedule. The Hawks, the Knicks, the Sixers, the Magic, the Bucks, the Nets. Woo! I would love them in the 7. I would love them in the 7. God. But either way, if they get the 8 seed, they play to get the 7. So we're good either way. If they play the Cavs, I feel like they beat them and they get that 7. But man, that will be very interesting, and I would like to see the Cavs in the first round. Trust me, I would love to see the Cavs, and then have the possibility, I think, of seeing the Bulls or the Celtics in the next round. Mostly without Robert Williams, where the Bulls' biggest flaw is their size. So without Robert Williams, I want to see what they would do. I know they wouldn't have rim protection, but I think that with Zach LaVine, DeMar, I haven't seen any Lonzo Ball. Let's see if he's played recently. I don't even know if he's played recently. No, he hasn't played. So you would have to basically hope Lonzo Ball comes back to lock up these guards. But that being said, with Caruso out there, you still have an elite defender, and I think they would. That's a tough matchup for the Celtics. Even though I take the Celtics in that series, the Raptors-Sixers series is very interesting, guys. That is not some pushover team right there. That is not a pushover for the 76ers. The length, Nick Nurse as a coach has shown that he knows how to guard Embiid. He will bring 3 to 4 defenders, literally 4 defenders at Embiid if needed. He will. He'll make you beat him with somebody else. I think that's very interesting. And I don't understand. We talked about this on Spittin' Sports. I don't understand why the 7 wouldn't play the 10 and the 8 play the 9. I know that would make it complicated, but if you're doing a dumbass play-in tournament, why not make it already the Hawks have to beat the Cavaliers twice, and then the Hornets and the Nets have to beat the Nets twice, like they do a best out of 3. The Hornets and the Nets do a best out. Well, I guess it makes. You try to question something, and it always turns out bad, right? So, but yeah, I like our outlook right now. It looks like the Nets are going to keep that 8 seed, and we want them to stay at the 8, so they play the Cavs. That's what we want. We want them at the 7. We don't want to see them. And Bucks versus Nets in the first round could eliminate to me the toughest matchup for the Heat. I'm not worried about anybody other than the Bucks. I don't care about Harden and them. Joel will go off on us, but it is what it is. I think Bam keeps him away from the rim in a sense that he keeps him 15 feet out instead of under the basket. Unlike most of these teams, even the Bucks, like we saw the 76ers play the Bucks, and they had no answer for Giannis. So I think that the 76ers would have a hard time with the Bucks. I think the 76ers and us would have a 7-game amazing series. I think the Celtics series, we would beat them, but it would go 7. I think other than the Bucks, I think everybody is looking at 6 to 7 game series in the first round. I think you're talking, well, shit, if they get the Nets like I just said, then you're looking at a 6 to 7 gamer right there, right? It's very interesting. It's very interesting how these East standings are playing out. When you're talking about 4 through 2 is 1 game. You got the Celtics 1 game behind the Bucks, 76ers 1 game behind the Bucks. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. But the Celtics have played, if I do the math right, 2 more games than the 76ers, so we have to see how that pans out. And then in the Western Conference, you just have pure domination by the Suns, who are now 62-14, are probably going to win. I mean, what is that? That's 76 games. They got 6 games left. They're probably going to win 5 to 6 games of those last games. You're looking at a team that probably would have won 70 games with Chris Paul. The Grizzlies, the Mavericks are now the 3 seed. Once again, I put them in my contender series, or my contender category last week. And yeah. The Mavericks look good. I'll say it. The Mavs look real good, but once again, this is about matchups. I think the Jazz are a tough matchup for the Mavs. I think the Jazz are a tough matchup for the Mavs. But once again, I don't ever believe in the Jazz. And I think Donovan Mitchell's out of there. But it's interesting with the play-in with the Lakers are only a half a game above the Spurs, who are 31-45. You'd have to think, and Anthony Davis is apparently they're in New Orleans tonight, right? I believe so, right? Yeah, I think so. And Anthony Davis is questionable. So there you go. I think it's going to be very interesting. If you want me to choose people to come out of each conference, I think we have a rematch of last year's finals. But to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I would have, if the matchups stay the same, I would have the Bucks and I want to say Heat or 76ers, but I want to say the Celtics too. But I'll go Bucks Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. You can say it's biased, whatever. I truly believe that we'll get there, even with all the shit I've gone through with these guys. And then I will have the Suns facing, because I think the Grizzlies will have a tough time with the T-Wolves. I truly do. I think it'll be a 6 to 7 game series in the first round. Man, you're looking at it being rough out there for them. So I'll go Suns. Wow, I said it. I went with my gut and I said Suns Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. Oh my God. Oh my God, I said it. Oh my God, I did that. Wow. Suns Mavericks in the Western Conference Final. Wow, and this is a shout out to Michael and Landon, by the way. This is me going at Michael. He said, I know you ain't that big. Look how I look now with my... You can see my neck, bro. What's up? I just said the Mavs are going to the Western Conference Finals. What do you think? What do you think about that, bitch? It's my brother, by the way. Michael is my brother. But your brothers can be bitches. He called me fat. He's called me fat. He's commented on my Instagram food. He's like telling me black beans aren't healthy for you. I don't know where he got that information from. What the fuck? Whatever. And then he comments under my picture, I know you ain't that big. I got a t-shirt on. How do I look now, bitch? It might be 2X. But I look good. So yeah, that's probably both of my conference finals teams. And then, I just think this year is a different year than any other year in the NBA. With how tight it is in the East. And with the West, I think we're kind of saying, it's just the Suns. But if you look 2 through 7, you really see some bad matchups and great matchups. I think this year will be much better than last year's NBA playoffs because that was the real bubble year. Got the fucking Knicks in there. Look at them now. Bums. But yeah, the MVP race. Jokic is running away. Running away with the MVP. It's his. Embiid no longer has a chance to me. I think that Embiid is the MVP. I'm not going to get into it. I've explained it 100 times. But the All-Pro teams are flawed. I've gone over this 100 times on this pod. The All-Pro teams are dumb in both sports. All-NBA, All-Pro NFL, they're dumb. Why are people categorized in 2 different positions? Why is there a guard/forward? Why is there a forward/center? I don't understand. But I think that what they should do is probably do it like an all-star team. Let's do a backcourt 5. Let's do a front court 5. Or do the 3 at each position and then make 6. Do 6 each team instead of just dumbing it down to 15 players. I think that would... You're only adding 3 players to the list. What harm does that do? Does that really diversify the list a lot? Oh my God. No. This whole voting system is just flawed and dumb. Man. And then Giannis comes out and once again, toot toot, toot toot, toot toot. Giannis is playing his best basketball at the end of the season. And maybe because I'm watching them more and I know he's been doing it all season, but you just see another Gary sitting. Mostly against the 76ers game-winning block, 40 and 11. I think 6 assists. Shot over 60%. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's just unstoppable. He's the best player in the world. And if you don't think that, I would like you to just let go of your biases, right? I'm a LeBron stan, bro. I love LeBron more than anything in the world. But he ain't better than Giannis. He ain't better than Giannis. And I would ask y'all this. Who is y'all's top 5 players in the world? Because I try to make a list. And it comes down to Embiid or Jokic. And isn't that a tough one? You can say, well, when they play against each other on the court, you see the difference. Yeah, you do. You do. But to me, you can't just put the player in that. Well, maybe you can. Maybe that's the exact argument you do. Is, well, do you play MC one-on-one? What happens? Well, that's what happens, but it goes Giannis. This is no order. Giannis, Bron, Embiid, Luka, Jokic. No order. And then I was thinking, well, Kevin Durant. I should say Giannis, Kevin Durant, Bron, Luka, Embiid, Jokic. How do you pick apart that one? If you take LeBron out, you take KD out. If you take KD out, you take LeBron out. Because the only reason you would say that is because of the seeding. One's been hurt. The other's been hurt. Steph is not on that list anymore. No, he's not. I'm sorry. Steph is not on my list anymore. And I think Steph is amazing. I don't think he's in contention and never has been. And I know that may be a hot take. Steph Curry has never been in contention for the best player in the world, by the way. He never has. No. KD and LeBron the last fucking decade of my life. Kobe Bryant at the end of his career at 2011, he was still up there. But other than that, it's been two guys my whole entire life. But now Giannis is taking the throne. And yeah, man. But in these conference finals, in these playoffs, I think we're going to get some great matchups. And I think the hardest outs that are not going to win a championship, if that makes sense, in these playoffs are, let me go back to the standings, goddamn. I would say it's the Raptors, the hardest out that won't win a championship. Them and the Nets. But if I had to do one that you don't think can win one, it's the Raptors. And then in the Western Conference, I would say the toughest out is the Nuggets, and they won't win a championship. Yeah, I just think that those teams have hella matchup problems. You're talking about length. You're talking about a dude like Jokic who's shooting 60%, averaging 27, 13, and 7. And, yeah, I think there's going to be some problems there. But, that's the end of this segment. If I come back and record something, I may, probably won't. But for now, it's only a 37-minute podcast. So it is what it is. I'm out. This man's eating on the pod. I don't give a shit. Hey, yo, let's do some tags. Oh, no, it's the wrong one. Oh, no, it's the wrong podcast.
Shooting the shit with the Saints. Shooting the shit with the Saints.
Burn the tape. Golly. And that's okay. This is what this podcast is about. So, I'm here. Yeah, well, my great friend, Kris Wilson, we just got done doing Spitting Sports. I know what it is. He's just here to talk some bullshit with me, maybe some life stuff, whatever, however long he rambles on some shit. But initially, I wanted to get into some Eagles talk with this man, talking about the draft, his 3 first-round picks. And I want to throw something at you. So I would say they have 3 first-round picks. Is it 16, 19, and what else?
15, 16.
Or am I tripping?
15, 16, 19. Yep.
Oh, fuck. I thought it was way lower. Holy shit. And by the way, on this podcast, you can say cunt, pussy-ass bitch. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Open up the vocab, huh? All right.
Yeah, you can. You ain't got to edit yourself at all.
Pull back the curtain.
So with those picks, I would say this. This is a multi-layered question, by the way.
Yeah. These are tough, man. You don't get options like this usually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know where to go,
I
bro.
would say, yeah. So I would say, what do you want, right? I would say, what do you want, 1? What do you think you're going to do? And 3, I have a general question on the Eagles because I don't know y'all's franchise like that. Do y'all usually pick best player available? Do y'all pick need, or do you just pick a receiver every single time you get a chance?
Well, the receiver thing, I got to take a sec to digest that because I'm still scarred.
Holy shit, dude. Come the fuck on. Like, come on, bro.
Fucking bum, Jalen Reagor. I think, so I want a fucking receiver, but it's got to be one worth taking. I'm not just going to perk up.
Yes.
Because, I have some PTSD from fucking Jalen Reagor. Like, everybody, all these mock drafts, you see fucking Drake London, Garrett Wilson, and usually
I'm about to say,
usually they're
you're
gone
praying
in
a
these mocks.
blackmail happens with Drake London,
Yeah,
though, right?
You're
like,
playing
you're
like
praying
a fucking
blackmail
weed
happens.
like a Laramie Tunsil shit.
The Laramie
2.0
Tunsil.
happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want a wideout, bro. Like, we'd be the first team since 05-06 to take 3 wideouts in the first round, 3 consecutive drafts. Like,
damn.
It just doesn't fucking happen. But
do you know who that team was or no?
The Lions. I don't know who the receivers were because
that's the problem.
All I knew was, I guess they had Calvin Golden Tate. Was Nate Washington there for like half a sec or some shit?
He was, yeah.
I don't know who the picks were.
I was gonna say
it
definitely wasn't Nate Burleson, but
yeah, I guess I meant Nate Burleson, not Nate Washington. But yeah, he definitely didn't go round 1. I want a fucking receiver to start. Like, I don't. Me personally, I don't think because you fucking missed my God, did you miss on Rager? Like, I'm not even sure the guy deserves to get fucking drafted at this point. The second he's done with this contract, dog, that dude's a full-time punt returner, and he ain't even that good at that shit, so I don't really know what the fuck his role is right now.
Dude.
I don't think because you missed on one, you should stop. Like, you should try
up.
again. Like,
yeah,
we used capital on one in the first round last year and the year before. That means, okay, we got to swing somewhere else. If you believe in your fucking evaluation, man, take the right guy. We talked about this off the fucking pot a bunch, man. Drake London would be dope, and I'm hoping maybe he falls because he hasn't been able to work out with that ankle. The more mocks I read, obviously these guys don't know everything, but he ain't getting past the Jets. Like at 10 though is where I see him like getting locked up. Everything I'm seeing lately, also, man, is Garrett Wilson to Atlanta at 8 and the Jets at 10. So like, I'm susceptible to this shit too. Like we see these guys at combines and we divulge too much in the testing numbers where it's just like, you got a remote, right? Like turn on the fucking tape. Treylon Burks is who I'm getting at. Like the guy didn't wow the way that people thought he was about to wow. And you could speak on this too. Like that's your boy. That's a hog right there. He was supposed to blow up the combine, so I thought like at that size he was supposed to run like maybe even a chance at high 4.4s. Like he only jumped like 32, 33. Like his vertical wasn't hella explosive. He ran like high 4.5s, maybe low 4.6s if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. That's just a gamer though. Like you know what I'm saying? Turn on the tape. That's a jack of all trades. He ain't the most like nuanced route runner. But no. Jalen Hurts ain't Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? Like, just give him a dude, which is why I want Drake London. I remember talking to you. The biggest guy I wanted in the offseason was fucking Mike Williams from the Chargers.
Absolutely.
Until homeboy signed for 20 M's a fucking year, and now everybody
you're like, thank God.
I'm like, thank God, bro. Like he's nice, but he ain't that.
He made Chris Godwin money, and I think Chris Godwin is a whole tier above him at the receiver category.
That's what I'm saying,
crazy.
Bro. Like everyone talks about
Treylon Burks.
Yeah.
Dude, Treylon Burks, let me tell you this. For people, I am a diehard Hogs fan. He is the best prospect as just a talent that I've watched. And once again, I watch every single Hogs game. I will skip stores on my job to come watch a Hogs game. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He is the best pro prospect I've seen since Terry McFadden. I'm not even joking. Like, you don't understand how the highlight plays this dude makes, him getting separation, just like all these safeties from Alabama and Arkansas and all these SEC players were quote tweeting him saying he made a comment about his 4.55 or the hell he ran in the combine, and they kept quoting him. People that aren't on his team quoting him going, he's 4.22 with pads on. I'm not joking. We couldn't catch him on the field.
Turn on the fucking Bama tape. Right,
dude.
Like I remember that play so clearly where they threw him like a hitch route on the sideline.
And he outruns 7 defenders.
Dustin Bama DBs.
Gone.
Like all them boys are going pro at some point. So
he's amazing.
That fool's a gamer,
so
bro.
what do you want? Who do you want? Who do you want?
So,
what positions? Like players' positions? What are you looking at here in this draft?
Garrett Wilson ain't getting to us. I would love Drake London because I think Jalen Hurts.
He's a kid. Garrett Wilson is a kid from Ohio State, right?
Yeah,
that kid is a fucking.
And I saw today. That dude's a fucking gamer, bro. And his last name's Wilson.
I saw some of his film.
His last name's Wilson, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can get me a Kelly Green that says Wilson on back,
I want to say, you with that jersey would be repulsive. You wouldn't wear another jersey the rest of your life.
I wouldn't wear another shirt, probably, bro. Like, I'll dead-ass pull up into work with the Wilson on. What's up, boys? So I would say
what's poppin'?
He ain't getting there. I think Jalen needs a guy like Drake London, personally. Like, we can both attest to this shit. He ain't Drew Brees. Like, he's not going to drop back and carve you. He needs a guy where you don't have to be perfect with ball placement that can just go up and get the fucking rock on a third. Like, I liken it to, like, an Alshon, bro. Like, prime Alshon. You know what I mean? Like, 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
He might not separate off the fucking line, but if the ball is in his fucking vicinity whatsoever, he's coming down with it. So
a random stat, I shared this with you. Over 50% of Drake London's catches this year were 50-50 balls.
Contested.
Like,
yeah.
It was contested catches. Trevor Sycamore tweeted that. He said he had like 56 contested catches out of, I think, 88 catches or something this year, which is fucking bananas considering he played in a good...
Off top, I don't know who won the Biletnikoff, like the best receiver in the country, but he would have if he didn't break his ankle. That's what I'm getting at, Drake London.
Yeah.
And now the further you get, you start seeing, like, I know people get crazy with their comparisons, but, like, you start mentioning Mike Evans, dog, I'm like, Man, if I can get Mike Evans at 15, like sign me the fuck up, bro. I will extend.
Also,
I will extend him.
This isn't a race
now.
thing. They do a lot of look-alike comparisons,
sure.
by the way.
100%.
He's a light-skinned, tall guy. It has nothing to do with race or anything.
Yeah.
It does when they're comparing. Like, you see, like, it's so funny when you see a guy with dreads like Derrick Henry, and then they compare him to, like, Trent Richardson. I'm like, bro, just because they're swole with dreads doesn't mean they're fucking the same player. Like, and they went to the same school. So it's just shit like that pisses me off. But, yes, he does remind me of Mike Evans in college, though.
Yeah.
He does. Mike Evans
used
used to make all the plays for the quarterback for Johnny Manziel, making him
Johnny
look good.
just throw that bitch up and he's coming down with it. So Drake London would be dope. I would say it's Howie Roseman we're talking about, right? Like the D line's getting hit with one of those. I personally think their ideal scenario is we make 2 of those picks and one of them's traded back to get a first in next year's draft. But again, you got to have a taker, and usually those big trade ups into that area are for. If you're talking about getting a 1 back or for a quarterback, and I'm just not sure there's anybody that's going to come up that high for a quarterback. Even if you tell me Malik Willis falls that low, which he's going, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. There's 2 quarterbacks are going in the top 10. They get overdrafted every single fucking year.
Every
year, like
year.
Every mock I open has Malik Willis to Pittsburgh at 20. I'm like, there is no fucking chance.
So that was my question.
But they're going to draft him at 8. Like
that was my question. I think that the Steelers. I was going to ask you, do you think the Steelers are a trade partner? But then when you say that they get overdrafted, then no. But they're going to launch up and get them higher.
They are, and the point I'm getting at is, sure, maybe we can trade back. But when you're talking about, even if we traded our highest pick, 15, Pittsburgh's at 20. You're not giving up a future 1 to go up 5 spots in the draft, even if it's for your guy. Like you're it's like a 2, maybe a 3, like change like that. Not that those picks should be thrown out, but it's not a 1.
Well, do you remember the Bucks gave up a lot to get Tristan Wirfs to the 49ers?
Yeah.
I think it was the current year. If you go look that trade up for me.
Let me see if I can do that.
It was I thought we gave up a little bit too much, but considering I wanted him so bad, I thought it was a significant trade, and now he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. I mean, we're talking about
he's one of the best tackles
in the league, and he's in his second year. So
trying to find what they gave up, because they only moved up 1 spot.
So. 1 spot?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We gave them that, and I think we gave them like a 2 or something just to move up 1 spot. So my point was if you're moving up 1 spot and you give up your first round, the very next pick, and I believe a second or something like that, this dude Kris is trying to hone in. Yeah, you ain't got to. Once again, this is not Spit Sports. Yeah, this is my podcast, motherfucker.
Can't fucking find
it's fine. But yeah, we gave up plenty. But that's what I was saying. It was just
that's what I'm saying. If you got your guy, you got conviction, go fucking get him, bro. Like all them tackles that went before Wirfs, like Mekhi Becton, Andrew Thomas. Like Andrew Thomas kind of came into his own. He was fucking awful as a rookie. Mekhi
Becton was fire.
He can't stay on the fucking field though.
Yeah,
and so like
that's true.
Tampa's like, look at what we got, dog. Appreciate the best, not only the best tackle in the draft, but like one of the best tackles in the fucking league already. Like the dude is like, the dude's like young, refined Lane Johnson. He's like 23. It's fucking wild.
It's so funny because the video of him jumping out of the pool, I was that fucking guy. I saw a 6'7", 360-pound guy jump out of a pool and land on his feet. I'm like, that's our fucking guy.
He ran 4.85 too, bro. Like,
yeah, and also I didn't understand why he was getting passed up on, since his versatility that he played left tackle and right tackle in college. Right. I did not understand why people were passing on him.
Over guys who can play multiple spots. So that one's fucking weird to me. I would say, bro, like, give me Drake London, D tackle. Like I said, D line's getting hit with one of those 3 first rounders.
Absolutely, yeah.
And everybody's pegged like Jordan Davis as this 2-down fat fuck who can't play on passing downs, and
we'll see.
And then he had the NFL Combine, and I'm like, is he even getting to 15, dog? But sign me the fuck up for Jordan Davis. Devontae Wyatt is dope from Georgia, but he's old as fuck. Like, we've touched on this. He's gonna be a 24-year-old rookie, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, by the time you're talking about a second contract, if you pick up his 5th-year option, the motherfucker's 29. Like, you got Juju out here hitting his Juju out here hitting his third contract because he got a 1 year last year. Guy's like 25. It's like I know age isn't the end all be all, but like if you can get an
Didn't
extra
he come
more,
out of college at 19 or something? Or am I crazy? Didn't he go in the draft and he was like 19 or 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only dude younger that I remember was
crazy.
You remember fucking Kenny Britt? That boy Kenny Britt was like 19 out of Rutgers, bro. Like he was young as fuck. So that's not the deciding factor, but you're talking about a guy like that finishing a full contract and then being the age that Devontae Wyatt is now is what I'm getting at. So it's a lot of extra years you can get on a guy. I would think D tackle. I want a receiver. I'm just not sure that the Ori is going to be able to talk themselves into 3 first-rounders in a row on a receiver. They whiffed on Rager. They hit a home run, in my opinion, on Devontae Smith. You know,
that is a home run to me too.
Quarterback pending. If you put that guy with a real passer, that dude's having a fucking bonkers rookie year.
Oh my God.
Who's to say if you swap him with Jamar Chase, they're different players, but like, you know, Devontae Smith would have fucking ball with Joe Burrow, somebody that could throw the football. All respect to Jalen, he just ain't there yet.
He's limited the playbook as well as like Devontae Adams. I mean, if you remember in college, every time you saw a highlight of Bama, he was catching a fucking streak route.
Oh yeah.
So I think if he had a deep ball
thrower,
like he would have been getting some tutty yards right there, man.
Like Philly likes to take a position that's not an immediate need, but they know is like a year out, like the year we traded
right tackle.
Or like a center even.
Center. I forgot Jason Kelsey.
That's what, like I think Lane has like 3, 4, 5 really good years left. You know what I'm saying? And like Malata's a fucking child. The guy's a rugby player turned into a future All-Pro, in my opinion. Left side set,
which
right
is
side
crazy.
Set, which is crazy.
And he got to learn from Jason Peters, the GOAT hog.
That's what I'm saying.
Who people didn't know played tight end in college, by the way.
That's a hog too. That's a freak. So we traded up to take Andre Dillard with Jason Peters on the team and hope that he could like mold him and turn him into the next one. I say all this to say like I wouldn't rule out Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa. If you can sit behind Kelsey for a year and then fucking there you go, hand the reins. But I'm hoping receiver and D tackle, bro. Like straight up. That's just and I D tackle definitely falls in line with the second part of your question was what I think we'll do. Howie and Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, just had a press conference. They fully are obsessed with quarterbacks and building the trenches on both sides of the fucking ball. So I've got no doubt they're going to hammer the D line. But edge is like confusing to me. I guess it just really depends who's there because now we signed Hassan Reddick, who I know is like a hybrid, but when you line him up off the edge, that dude was a maniac last year. So I don't know how much Gannon's going to want to move him around, but then you got Josh Sweat, 24, 25-year-old building block over there. So I don't know. BG's on his last leg, right? It's probably BG's last year, which fucking makes me emotional. I'm going to hate to watch that dude leave, but D tackle's probably a need, man, because we brought back Fletch, right? But that's a 1-year deal. Like Fletch is going to be on the market next year, like straight up. And then you're looking at Javon Hargrave, who's going to be touching.
He'll end up on the Rams.
Right, yeah. He'll get a ring. He'll end up on the Rams. He'll like revive his career, and then he'll go get fucking 6 for 140 as a 32-year-old D tackle.
These long contracts.
That's apparently the model. So, yeah, when Fletch goes, it's just Javon Hargrave in the middle, and he's going to be 29 or 30 by the time, not this year, but next year starts. So, it's got to be D tackle for me, and then it's got to be receiver, bro. Like I love me some Quez Watkins. That's a bona fide 3 to me. Like he's best suited as a 3. Like he can't be your 2 though. He can't be your 2.
Yeah, not everybody is lucky like I am, where Antonio Brown is arguably your 3rd best receiver on your roster. So it's
crazy.
It's
I guess an Eagles fan, I'm used to looking at rosters and I'm like, Cedric Wilson would be our 1. Like that's where my mindset has always been for the past couple of years till we got Smitty. But I think another receiver or D tackle would be dope. And then if you can trade back that 3rd pick up some capital. I know. Look, as much as I want Jalen to be the guy, I'm not sold that he is the guy. I want him to be, and so do they. But like, you kind of need to give yourself a little bit of ammo for next year to go hunt. Because to your point, and like to our bigger point, you never know what fucking quarterback's going to become available. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Nobody would have guessed. Like all these motherfuckers are on the move this offseason. Like you never know who's going to.
I was going to say, you finished my sentence with the fact that I was going to be like, hey yo, Howie Roseman is a dealer. Does that make sense? Like he's a gunslinger when it comes to making deals.
He's one of the best traders in the league.
If he trades back, even this season, if there is a opening for a DK Metcalf for on that draft night, he will pull the trigger so he doesn't have to draft it with 15.
I like how you brought that up too. I've seen a bunch of I've seen some mocks lately that only have us picking at 15 and 16. And then they show that 19th
real quick
pick,
for me.
They show that 19th pick cashed into DK Metcalf.
Google that fucking DK Metcalf contract. Because he ain't getting paid shit. A draft pick is enough to compensate that man. I went and I was just curious, right? The other day, I was just curious of who were the top paid receivers when I wanted to go look at what team? Oh, I was thinking of the Packers. And I was like, who could they get possibly, even though they're a cheap franchise? And I started looking and I started realizing, wait, DK Metcalf, I'm at fucking like Amari Cooper, and DK Metcalf isn't even in the vicinity.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, so he's not making a penny on the dollar
He's
right
making
now.
$4 million this year. He'll make $4 million this year.
That I'm telling you, people are going to pull the trigger on that for draft capital.
They will.
And the thing is, I just think that's very interesting. And getting into drafting and all that stuff, we got to get to the Bucks, my Bucks, right? We got to get to my
Real quick,
Buccaneers.
let's hit on your Buck real quick, though. He's an unrestricted free agent after this year, DK is. So that's where it gets tricky, right? Because especially with these wide receiver contracts fucking booming.
It's a contract
you gotta give up a one,
if you trade.
And then you got to pay him 23, 25 M's on top. So it's like, are you better served trading for a known commodity as an Eagles fan, which has to have some fucking appeal, or do you want to take a risk on a cost-controlled rookie and get his ass for 4 or 5 years at a discount and hope that he can turn into a player, not DK, but like, a legitimate fucking starting NFL receiver. So
yes. I was going to, on the Bucks thing, I was going to touch on knowing your role on the team is I think that's what is so essential about that Russell Gage signing.
Yeah.
Is he knows he's a 3.
Yep.
And he's not going to have that ego of Antonio Brown, who just came out and said he's not going to get surgery on a broken ankle until somebody signs him. Vontez Burfict has put this guy in a fucking straitjacket, and I don't know
this
what
fool's
the
career,
fuck.
bro.
Like, fam, what the fuck is he doing? Like, honestly, what do you do? Like, if you get surgery, you have more of a chance than if you. Who would sign you if they know you haven't got surgery yet? You fucking idiot.
He's
like, are they going to slap?
He's trying to go Scottie Pippen, except he's 33 with no contract right now. Like that's not how you fucking. That's not how you gain leverage, dog.
And he just walked off a fucking field shirtless, hyping up the away crowd in New York. Like, what? Let go! Like, what the fuck are we doing? But I was going to get into the draft with Todd Bowles, I think. And we're going to, it's just tying into Bruce Arians, really. And I think we both have the same opinion on that. Todd Bowles being the new head coach, I think, changes our whole draft. And I know that sounds crazy to people, but I think we go from drafting a possible left guard even late in the draft, considering, Shaq Mason can play whatever, but we don't have a left guard still. Ali Marpet is still retired. I think it turns into not getting a young receiver to who they think will replace Godwin off rip and try to see if they can get some good games out of like a Jameson Williams or something like that. You have to get that interior
dog. I completely
guy.
forgot about him, Jameson Williams. I completely forgot.
Yeah, he tore his ACL, and he's
how far does he fall?
That's
going to be interesting. How far is he?
Every mock I've seen, he falls to almost the second round, if not the second round. Every mock that I've seen,
I saw this shit on Twitter, bro. Somebody said, if we allow
won that game with him,
if we allow the Chiefs to get Jameson Williams, let's all fucking go home, bro. Like, please do not let him get the fucking 29-30.
Failed.
We have failed.
The thing is, if he was falling to us, he could fall to them too. So, and I was going to bring this up. Bruce Arians has retired. I touched on this on my podcast, but I didn't go in depth really.
You did, man. This shit was crazy.
To me, and I know you agree, I think Tom met with the Glazers. Now, I think Tom met with the Glazers, and he said, "Hey, yo, listen."
That whole trip to go watch Ronaldo play soccer.
Yeah,
the Glazers were in town. Yeah.
And it's not a coincidence that he met with the Glazers literally during that game, who have partial ownership of the team, by the way. The Glazers do, of the Manchester or Juventus or the fuck Manchester United, whoever the fuck they were playing. Yeah. And he goes, "Are you done?" And Tom makes that face that went viral.
Yeah, we saw that. He
announces that he's coming back 12 hours later. That's not a coincidence. He met with the Glazers that day at that game. And I think he had a conversation, and he said, "Hey, yo, I'm used to Bill Belichick Bruce Arians kind of like drinks tequila while he watches film, and I don't think he's seeing it right. And considering Clyde Christensen, Byron Leftwich, and Tom Brady were the catalyst to actually changing the offense, and Bruce Arians was very hard-headed in that. The reports that were coming out from beat writers were he was very hard-headed, we're doing the deep ball shit, and Tom was like, listen, man, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Here's how I operate, bitch.
Yeah, this is how I do this shit. This is how I do this, and we're going to do it my way, or this ain't going to work out well. And also, I think the last 5 games or so that we had, while we were, like, looking kind of shitty. We were, like, 2 games over 500 last 5 games of the season, I believe. I think we were 7-5 or 6-5, something like that. We ended up playing the Panthers, the Falcons. We had this horrible schedule. The Jets, where he throws to Cyril Grayson, I believe. And no, that was this year. But we had a lot of bad teams that we played. And I just think they had a conversation, and it went that way. But I also think it's a two-edged sword where Bruce Arians thinks that Todd Bowles got a bad rap, who's always been his guy. Bruce Arians thinks he got a bad rap in New York with Sam Darnold, and he's been proven to be a shit quarterback now. He was like, listen, you got Tom Brady now. You got Byron, who really is the orchestrator of the offense. And I haven't seen any reports of our DC that's coming in to replace Todd Bowles.
I haven't either.
But Todd Bowles is going to be the play caller on that side. And I guess,
DC.
Yeah, and I'm guessing we're on the same page here that Tom, and he was front row, by the way, today when they when they pushed Bruce out into this false ass organization thing. Like, Bruce literally said on the stage that he had no fucking idea what he was doing in the organization.
I was about to bring that up, bro. He was like, the role sounds cool. He was like, what it means, I don't know. Like, I'm excited to find out like what the hell the role is, bro. He has no idea. Like, hey, if I'm gonna get pushed out, bro, and you want to push me out and promote me, like, all right, I'm down for it. Less work, more money. All right, I'm down for it. I'm with you.
What do you think happened here?
Nah, I think Tom forced him out. Like anyone who, I think in these aspects, like anybody who sits around and takes like tit for tat, word for word, like Jeff Darlington has been like preaching. I saw him preaching on NFL Live today that, listen, for anyone saying that Tom forced him out, it's bullshit. Like,
he's a Tom cum guzzler. You can say it here. Yeah. That's what he is. He's the dude that broke the retirement news. He's the guy that broke the Tampa news. He has some, I think him and Tom talk personally, in my opinion. He has some intricate source there in Tom's camp, but he's going to defend him at all costs to save his image.
But that shit to me screams like PR stunt. Like, let's just spin it positively. Like, that's what that shit screams. There's no way. And like, Bruce was like, Tom coming back made it easier, and they spun it perfectly. He's like, I wanted to take care of my guys. He's got all these people like vouching for Bruce's character. Like, that's the exact type of guy he is. Like, and I know him and Bowles are tight as fuck. Like, apparently they go back to Temple, maybe. Like, they go, in some aspect, they go way back. Him and Todd Bowles. But to me, that's a Tom force out for sure. Because like, if you're Tampa, it's like, do we run this entire team back without Tom Brady? Or do we sacrifice the pain in Tom Brady's ass, keep everything else around him the same that he likes, and get Tom Brady back? Like, that's a fucking easy decision for your organization. Easy. And I had heard that this was going to be Bruce's last year regardless prior. Like, I don't know if you've heard the same stuff. I heard that, like, he might walk away at the end. Yeah, so it's like,
you're talking about a guy that's almost 70 years old.
The guy's old as
fuck,
fuck,
he didn't
man.
even want to come back. Like, and he won his bowl. Like, he's got one foot out the door. Let's be real.
That's what I'm saying.
The dude survived cancer. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, he's ready to go.
Yeah. So I for sure think it was Tom forcing him out, bro. You ain't convincing me otherwise. I'll die on that hill.
Okay. So, I would say this. What are your So, there's expectations. There's goals. There's dream goals, all that for your favorite teams, right? Like, my dream goal is for the Heat to win an NBA title this year.
Yeah.
But my realistic expectation, if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals and we lose a really close series, am I going to be mad? Fuck yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm like, we had another great season, and Jimmy's proven everybody wrong, da-da-da. What are your expectations? Let's go minimum realistic but high goal, and then dream goal. What are your Eagles? What's up? What's up with the Eagles, man? Let's be candid here, Chris.
No,
Come on. You know when you saw the tweet. I said 8 and 9 confirmed with the new unis. Come on, man.
Yeah, bro. I had to ignore that shit. Bro.
Come on, dog.
Come on, dog. I was having a good day, bro. It's my second last day at work. I had to keep on keeping on. You know what I'm saying? I saw it. Hess tagged me in it. Saw it again. Had to unsee it. Probably should have hit like the mute button for a little bit, decompress, but didn't go that route.
I'm the guy that pops up on your TL like tweets you that recommend because me and you interact so much. Like your tweets, Landon's tweets, and I know I pop up on your TL every time you click the refresh button. I'm at the top. It doesn't matter if you have latest tweets on or anything.
Embiid said the shit on JJ's pod today about how he sees everything. I'm the same way, bro. I see everything. I'm not Embiid, right? Like I'm not getting thousands of notifications, but like I see everything.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not replying to it, I saw it. Like 100%.
Yeah, me too.
I see everything on there. Never has someone tag me in something I'll be like, damn, I missed that. Like rarely. If I say that, I'm lying to you. I've usually seen it. But the Eagles, man. Okay, so let's go through it, right? Like if I'm picking division champs right now, because we're talking goals, right?
This is without the draft.
So right. I can't.
This is without the draft and things.
And to your point, like we have 3 first rounders. You know, like
there
is a possibility. There's a possibility that you're adding
players.
Instant impact players.
Yes.
Your head coach, who I would like to add, by the way, for all you dipshits out there, they picked us as a bottom 5 roster in the NFL last year. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. We were pegged for 4 wins maximum. 4 by every major site. And all we did was win 9 games. Won 9 games, went to the playoffs, like called 9-8 what you want, mediocre, whatever. We got blown out by Tampa, sure. Fuck it. You're talking about who was essentially you're talking about Jalen Hurts, who was essentially a rookie quarterback. I don't give a fuck if his second year is rookie quarterback. He's never had the same offensive coordinator 2 years in a row. Like he's been with a different guy every single year, going back to his time at Bama. You're talking about a head coach who's going to come back who's calling plays. Shane Steichen's coming back as the OC, the guy who, you know, he helps Sirianni a little bit. Gannon's coming back. That you always hear about the big jump across every sport is year 1 to 2, right? Like that's supposed to be the biggest learning experience and where you take your biggest leap. So I'm expecting some growth, man. Like I'm not expecting this like 8 and 9 dope jersey bullshit that you tweet. Like I just can't see that. I think Washington, right? They got Carson Wentz, but like how much of an upgrade is that? Sure, maybe their defense bounces back, but how much does Heineke wasn't good, right? But I don't know. He probably didn't win you many games, but I don't know that he has the ability to throw them the way that Carson Wentz does. Like the left-handed fucking end zone screen pass to Tennessee to give them the game. Like there ain't.
That was crazy.
That's Washington shit now. Like I spent years defending that man. I know what that looks like. I ain't worried about Washington and the Giants. Dallas,
and by the way, every team in your other than the Giants who don't even matter,
they're poverty.
Every team in your division, I mean, I guess you can say the Commanders got better with Carson Wentz. I suppose, but the lead dog in the Cowboys has only gotten worse. They have not improved literally whatsoever. So if I'm a fan of the Eagles, I don't have any sense of ego in saying we will win the division.
That's what I'm saying. I think we got a realistic shot. Like defensive production year over year is unsustainable. Right, like turnover is the most unpredictable thing in the NFL. Dallas had a ton of points generated off the defense. You know, like there's turmoil going on inside that locker room. Like McCarthy's on his last leg. Like you got all these fucking you got a new Jerry scandal.
Smashing watermelons and shit.
You got
like, what the fuck's going on?
You got a new Jerry scandal every fucking week. Every time you open your phone, there's a new lawsuit against Jerry. Like there's just a lot of turmoil going on. They lost all the names that we've touched on previously. All these weapons. So like. We got a shot at the division, and like I can't give you goals without listing a realistic path, right? So it's like I would take the Rams in the West, the Bucks in the South. The Packers are probably still the favorite in the North.
Yes,
you know, like, and then I would consider probably a 2-team race in the NFC East. The Giants are poverty. They still have Daniel Jones. I don't care about Brian Daboll, any of that shit.
Dude,
Giants are the Giants.
No.
Washington, Carson Wentz are going to shoot them in the foot when it matters. We saw what happened last 2 weeks of last year. It could be the fucking Jags. The owner literally forced the GM to get him the fuck out of town. Like I will pay him to pack his bags. That's how
first it was often Perky's was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm playing my guitar at this rock band and get him the fuck out of here.
So like I think we got a realistic shot at the division, right? And like, you know, to your point, like if our division sucks, I'm not saying we're world beaters, but like, you see each of those teams twice a year. Those are it helps to be in a shit division because you get to see an extra bad team 3 more times theoretically. Not that Dallas is bad, but you get what I'm saying. So I would be, I don't want to say shocked. I'd be surprised if we don't make the playoffs at this point, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, you're banking on that year 1 to 2 growth. So I mentioned all the fucking coaches. Ain't no way Jalen Hurts isn't going to get better because that's all he's done his entire fucking life is get better every single year. You go back and watch him at Bama, dog, that dude couldn't throw a forward pass, really.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up he couldn't. So if Jalen Hurts takes a nice little leap and we hit on some draft picks, man, like, you know, we're the best running team in the NFL, in my opinion, maybe this side of Baltimore. And so, like, let's see what happens. Like, I can't, like.
Do you think they wait 10 weeks to run the ball this year? Or?
Oh, shit, man. I'm going to be started on that. The owners got something on Miles Sanders' head, boy, because I don't know what
fantasy-wise, having Miles Sanders.
I'd never again, bro. Never again, by the way.
And then, even if you're not an Eagles fan, you go, Miles Sanders is beyond Miles, no pun intended, better than every fucking running back in that room.
Not even close, bro.
Is on the bench injured watching these guys get 16 carries a game while he was like, where the fuck was that for me? I literally got 7 carries a game. Like, what the fuck is going on?
They're legit running a 3-headed backfield and all of them get like 16 touches, bro. He's probably like, what the fuck? Like that. You remember the Tampa game we played, y'all, during the regular season?
Dude, it was so annoying. Y'all actually were on us. I was talking shit and being like, it's a Thursday game, where the fuck it was.
That's what we do. We collapsed in the second half. Like,
but it was kind of stupid how we played that game. But either way, y'all did wear in our defensive line.
And then you started to get loose when they started toting him. They ran the ball for the first time in the second half, I think, and he got a first down. And the whole crowd like stood up and started to applaud. Like, just for
I love Philly.
Ball.
That's why I love Philly. They're gonna shit on you if you need to get shit on now.
They're gonna hold you accountable, bro. So like, I don't want to take the cop out on the dream goal. Like the dream's to win the bowl. Like it's not realistic. I don't think for the Eagles. I said this last year. I damn sure ain't gonna say it's a rebuild. Like a rebuild is Jacksonville. Everyone had us pegged for a rebuild. Those bottom 5 teams with first, second year quarterbacks who were dog shit, who need a couple more drafts to put together a real fucking franchise on the field. Like, we're not in rebuild. We're a retool, right? But when you have 3 1s, that expedites a retool by, theoretically, if you have 3 1s, that's 3 years worth of, 3 years worth of first rounders. So if you hit on those, that can expedite the process, man. So I think we can make some realistic noise. Now, we ain't beating the Bucks. Like the Rams got better. Like, the only thing the Rams did right now, like, they lost Andrew Whitworth, but like they got Bobby, and they, assuming they re-signed Odell Beckham, which is still up in the air, they traded Robert Woods for Allen Robinson. Like, I don't know how much you're really losing right there. Like, that's a fucking gamer. I can't wait to watch him with a fucking quarterback. But
I'm drafting him again in the 3rd round. I know I am.
I would say like clear pecking order, like Bucks, Packers, Rams are still ahead of us. The Niners, that's a damn good coach, but like, I haven't seen Trey Lance.
We'll see what Trey Lance.
We'll see what Trey Lance is.
Like I said, he started, like 2 or 3 games since he was
Seattle got rid of Russ. Like, Arizona won 11 games. Arizona's still going to be around, but Arizona wouldn't frighten me in a playoff matchup. Like, what the fuck's Kyler Murray doing when the game's on the line? I'm like, what's he done in a meaningful
And that's
game?
what's scary. For being a fan of a team like Philly, it's actually really scary because there is a chance you play at Arizona or something like that in the wild card round, and then you get that dub. And then Philly starts going,
the ball 34
you know
times,
what?
Like,
you know what? We got a chance. We got a chance. Yeah, that makes sense. I would say for me, my realistic
it's going to come down to our
is,
draft, though. Like, we got to get impact players on defense, to me, because our defense was not good last year.
Yeah, y'all need some defensive backs to me. I would say dream goal for me is obviously bowl, and I think it's realistic.
Oh, for sure.
But I think to expand on the dream goal is not have the hiccups like we did last year, losing to Washington and things of that nature, losing to the Saints twice.
Yeah.
Like those little hiccups where you really start to question, like, damn, man, like, are we that good?
Right.
You know, like, it sounds crazy.
No, it's like
But
the
you're like,
Sixers tonight.
are
Like
we?
you gonna play the Suns and the
Yeah.
Bucks competitive as fuck, and then like lay an egg against Detroit. It's like how good are we? But like
Yeah, it's and then that Saints game is almost like an NBA game where we get down, I think 17 or 16 points with 5 minutes left, and we end up losing by 2
right.
or something like that to Trevor Siemian after Jameis tore his ACL, and I'm just like, why does it have to get to that point? Or the Washington game,
Yep.
where
Or
I'm
the
just
Jets
watching, I
game.
was like, yeah, why does it take a game-winning drive and then Tom makes it look so flawless at the end
Right.
of the game where he just goes boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
all the way
that's
down
what
the
I'm
field, 90 yards in 50 seconds, if not less.
Yeah.
And I was like, why does it take that?
yeah.
Show
and
dominance.
Yeah, like to your point, like it's not that Tom can't do that because he does that shit all the fucking time. And I don't want to sound cliche, but like that's not a reliable formula. Like look at the fucking Rams playoff game. Like it like they dead ass.
Why
almost
do we
pulled that-
keep doing
like,
this?
They almost they like did that, barring like that seed from Stafford to Cooper Kupp. Like that comeback was done basically. Like they were gonna go to OT, and ain't a soul thought the Rams would win if that shit went to OT.
No.
Not a soul alive. So it's like if you can avoid constantly being in those scenarios, not that you're not built for it, but just don't dig as big of a hole. And I think to your point, you probably touch on this better than I can. It's just for everybody, but it's different when you're coming off a chip. Like it's just you get everybody's best shot, and you have some letdown games because especially with Brady, you're looking at fucking late December and January, bro. Like you like the rest of the team, they just ain't getting up for a Thursday game in October. Like,
I told y'all this 100 times. I did not get to enjoy the season. Like I literally was just like, even when we lost, like I literally wasn't even mad. It was kind of crazy, just like, and now I'm like, it's not that I'm reinvested, but it's
no,
like
but you are. It's like
game
it's
matters.
how Brady's feeling. He's like the last taste I had in my mouth. That's gross.
Didn't
I don't
like
want
it,
that. I want to fucking.
and
I
I
wanna
didn't
hold that
like it
trophy up.
either.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so it was
Tampa's
just
gonna be
very
right there, bro.
frustrating. Yeah, it's just frustrating that I didn't get to enjoy. But now I'll put it back in my head that he could be gone next year.
Yeah, I've always said that, man.
If,
You need
if
to
not traded, so.
And y'all didn't suck, but like you need to not win it all to like have that joy put back in. Like it just is what it is. That's
what's
like,
crazy.
I'll swear to this day, there's no way, and it might sound crazy, like Patriots fans were not happy, bro. Because like if you didn't win a fucking bowl, that shit and even when you win a bowl, you're just like, we did what we're supposed to do. Cool, like that's dope. Like let's get it. But,
what's
like,
the
I'm like, dog,
point?
you just won the fucking Super Bowl, bro. Like I've tasted one of those, bro, and I cried. I was geeked out of my mind, bro. So like you need to
That's what's so
not
different
suck,
for
but
me.
you need to like at least not win it to then be able to feel emotion and elated and happy as fuck when you do win it. So that's gonna
because
be,
I am a realistic fan. I really am. With most of my teams, I'm pretty realistic. I think the most unrealistic is Arkansas because like there's 6 days out of the week. It's like Sunday through Friday. I go, man, we ain't beating Bama. And I wake up at 6 a.m. on Saturday going to work, and I'm like,
you're like,
we're gonna
dog,
beat them by fucking 30.
can do
Like
this shit,
we're
bro.
about to blow them the fuck out. And with the Bucks and them, it was like when you're watching Jameis, you go, we may not have a chance at the playoffs in the year that he plays football for us, even though he's one of the most entertaining players to ever walk the face of the earth. I don't care who you are. Y'all motherfuckers were tuning in, not even because of me. If I wasn't a Bucks fan, I swear to God, everybody would have watched to see if Jameis threw his 30th pick and 30th touchdown in that Falcons game.
I did. I watched.
Everybody would have saw it.
That was a Saturday morning game. I watched
Yeah.
that shit at the office. I'll never forget. I was streaming that shit at work.
Yeah, I think it was the Panthers, and Gerald McCoy had his fucking revenge game. I think it was in London.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was fucking terrible. But yeah, everybody would have watched him. But then it's like this elation. And I hadn't been a Bucks fan for everybody knows I did not have an NFL team. Everybody that I'm friends with will claim I was a Patriots fan. And you can say whatever you want. I
okay.
grew up in
okay.
loving players. The only reason I love the Heat is because of D Wade. I saw him play in Marquette. I saw him in that Final Four drop a triple double.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, or go to the Final Four dropping a triple double, and I was like, yo, who is that?
Yeah.
It literally made me play basketball, watching Dwayne Wade play. And then I grew up loving Tom Brady because he won all the time. When you're a kid, you don't know any better.
Yeah.
Like, I was a Yankees fan. I didn't know they had fucking 27 championships, and I ended up loving Derek Jeter. My fucking select team was the Yankees. That's the only reason I watched the Yankees play, you know what I mean? So I ended up loving Tom Brady, Darren McFadden, and fucking the Yankees. That's a horrible mix to mix. You're just like a bandwagon for life. Yeah, like, I'm winning every year. But, yeah, and I didn't really feel despair. And then Tom Brady came, and I felt elation that, honestly, to be candid on this podcast, I thought I was not going to feel when they won that. I did not think I'd feel that way when they won. I was connected to the team, and I loved the team, and I've watched them for 8 years, 7 years, whatever it is, since Jameis was there. I didn't think I would feel that sense of elation like the way that I felt. And also, I didn't feel that Super Bowl because we were kicking the fuck out of them until the final buzzer went off. I'm not joking. Like, it wasn't really like I was doing a reaction video, and I was like, this ain't even a good game. You know what I mean? Like, we're beating the shit out of the Chiefs, and then we won, and then I was like, holy
fuck, we won.
Shit. We won the Super Bowl, and I poured champagne on my fucking head and all that dumb shit that I did and all that. And, yeah, I think that with those expectations, I think the Bucs have that expectation. I think we're the best team still. I think we're the best team in the NFC.
You got Brady.
And
I don't blame you.
You got Brady, and I think the most underrated, untalked about part of this team is the defense. We just added Logan Ryan. We got Carlton Davis back. We got Shaq Barrett. Joe Tryon is coming off a incredible rookie season where he was a rotation player.
Yeah,
so you're talking about, like, he's going to take JBP's place this season to me eventually as a starter. And I just think, man, we got a lot of young talent. And that defense had some incredible stops this year. A lot of times where our offense was looking sputtery and ugly like it was the first year Brady was there. But I think it's just untalked about. And, yeah, I think that we can win a bowl. But I want us to show dominance when we need to show dominance. In the NFL, you're going to have letdown games.
Yeah.
But I just want the Bucs to show their dominance and not lose to the Commanders and shit like that.
Yep.
It's annoying.
Yep. Like,
it's fucking annoying.
To your point, like, yeah, my Super Bowl experience was way fucking different because for a lot of reasons, bro. Like, Carson Wentz tore his ACL. He was probably going to win MVP. Like, I took a 2-hour fucking walk on repeat around my complex after that. Like, I missed dinner. I don't think I ate that night. I don't think I slept. I'm just scrolling, like, I'm scrolling Twitter.
This
like,
man, Kris, was hurt, dog.
I was hurt, bro. Because, like,
MVP
the season was over, bro. Like, it was over. And then the roller coaster of emotions, especially when you followed them as long as I have, like, my entire life, I've never been like I never had a moment where it was like, okay, I kind of like Dallas, for example, because I live in the area. I never had a moment where I had to consciously choose the Eagles. Like, I just like from day one, I just like have been like Philly. And so when you watch all those years, like the same way you felt elation after going from Jameis to winning a bowl, it's like all that bullshit that you sat through to then have your MVP quarterback go down. When we are beating, you want to talk about dominance, we were beating the brakes off everybody we lined up against that year. Everybody.
Y'all were balling that year.
We lost week 2 to the Chiefs to go to 1-1, and then we never lost again until Seattle, I think, and we were like 11-2 at the time. And like no game was close. Like we beat the fucking brakes off the Bears. We hung like 50 on the Broncos. Like we were front running on the whole team was doing the Macarena slide. Like the whole defense celebrate. Like the team just had mojo, bro. And then to see Carson go down sucked everything out of me. And then you have a backup quarterback who comes in who plays like shit against the Falcons in the second round, who we probably should have been playing the Rams, who probably would have beat us if Pharaoh Cooper didn't fucking throw the game harder than any specialist has ever thrown the game. Your boy Pharaoh Cooper, like we beat Atlanta.
He's not a Pharaoh in my book. He's a fucking peasant. Goddamn.
We beat Atlanta on like a mistimed Julio Jones, he just mistimes his jump and the ball like goes through his hands and Jalen Mills is right there. My dogs, he's running up and down like finger wagging the shit and BG, and like that was
best red zone corner in history. Then
straight up like between
20
the tens,
to 20 is
the
dog
tens,
shit.
Like he's done.
He is horrible.
But inside, he's money in the red zone. And so, like, we barely scraped by Atlanta with a backup, and I'm like, okay, like maybe this is gonna come to an end. We're playing the Vikings, who are 13-3 or whatever. I know Bradford went down, but we're playing the Vikings with Case Keenum, who somehow is playing good ball that year. And they go right down the field. They go up 7-0 in a heartbeat. We punt. They get the ball back. They drive they're driving, I think. And Chris Long gets a hand on Case Keenum coming off the edge. And Ron Darby picks it and goes to the house. And I'll never forget. No. Patrick Robinson picked it. And Ron Darby is lead blocking and gets the shit blown out of him. He's lead blocking, and the guy just blows his shit up, and Patrick Robinson like barely scores over the goal line, and he like runs into the tunnel. And I actually didn't watch this game live. I had to watch it back. I was on a plane coming from Mexico. So I remember that. I saw the initial 7-0 drive, and then we lost service.
You were on a honeymoon?
No, that
was
was
something.
It was Molly's work trip or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we're down 7-0, and then I lose service. And by the time I get back in range for service, we're up 28-7. And I'm like, holy fuck! What? Like I thought when I picked up my phone, like it was over. Like I thought it was done. And I land and I see like the flea flicker from Foles to Torrey Smith and like the corner pylon, and I was like, holy, like we're about to go to the fucking bowl, bro. And this is with a backup quarterback, and Nick Foles plays the best 2-game stretch in my opinion in NFL playoff history, considering the NFC chip in the Super Bowl. Like we are the first number 1 seed and only to be underdogs in every single playoff game. Every single playoff game we were a dog. I remember we're going in, and we're about to see the fucking Patriots and Tom Brady, bro. Like the line opens up at like 5.5, 6 points. And everyone's like, do you think you can win? I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. We're going to beat the fucking brakes. But then, like, it's just you and you at night. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like, Tom Brady and Nick Foles, like, ain't no fucking way, bro. Like, it's not realistic. And Nick Foles carves. Like, I know Tom threw for 500 plus, but, like, Nick Foles fucking balled. He threw for, like, 370, 390, something.
I'm about to say, like, 400.
Yeah, he threw for, like, 400. Fucking balls out, and we go for it on our own side of the field on 4th and 1, and he throws like a little, not even a hitch, it's like a flare out to Zach Ertz, who gets tackled and like dives over the line and gets the first, and then we drive down and go win the game. And I never felt comfortable. Like you were blowing out the Chiefs, I never did. Like we got up, we ran Philly special right before half. We went up like 10. Brandon Cooks exited the game with a concussion because Malcolm Jenkins blew his fucking brains out of his right ear. And I never felt safe. Like, we were up 10. And sure as shit, they come back, take the lead. And we go down. We score. Zach Ertz dives over the pylon. They review it. Is it a fumble? Did he complete the catch? He crosses the goal line. Like, I remember every fucking play. And even still, we're up 5 points. And I'm like, we lost. Like, Tom just got the ball back, bro. Like, he's about to do what he does every fucking time.
And that's the thing. It's that playing Tom Brady in the biggest moments.
Right.
Is not like playing anybody else.
Nobody else in history. Like, you're never safe, bro.
And that's before the Falcons game.
Yes.
That's before 28-3.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking, if you see 12 on the field in that big moment, because, I mean, I'll never forget debating with my dad if he deserved the Super Bowl MVP against the Seahawks. My dad was like, that was an MVP performance. It was Julian Edelman. I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck ever you have to say. He's down 14.5, and he's throwing to everybody on the field, not just Julian. I know Julian balled out, but I mean, come the fuck on. Tom Brady dominated that game after throwing a pick. And that's what it's so funny. It's like Tom's best performances.
Edelman won that,
or maybe
right?
it's just no. That was the Rams, I believe. He won the Rams.
Yeah,
one.
You're right. Yeah, he won the Rams one. Fuck, there's so many I fucking lose track.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Maybe it's the most memorable, not the best. The ones that are talked about the most is when Tom has the most like bad plays, like the Falcons game. Tom Brady looked like fucking Sam Darnold out there.
We were texting live, bro.
I was like, the first half, I was like I'm talking about wide. I'm not even over wide open receivers. He's throwing 20 yards over their heads to the sideline. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is happening with Tommy? Those pick six,
like so bad, like GOAT status removed. Like I'll
yes,
find me a quarterback, I'll replace it. Like he is now there. Like that's how bad it was at the start.
Crazy, and then the miracle comeback happens.
Yep, and you got that meme
shit
with the score, and Tom Brady's like this on the sideline. I'm just like,
his head's down, and
it's different. It's game time.
And
bro.
now it's just an infinity meme. Like everybody uses it when he's down fucking like 14-10 at half to the Falcons in 2022. Like, dude, let it go. It's not the same. Like it's gonna be fine.
And I was fucked up for the Super Bowl, man. Like the one we won, I had to rewatch back because I was blasted. But I remember we go up 5. They rush BG on the inside. They put him over at guard. And this is like prime BG. Like, BG was legit.
Yeah.
And
is that when he fumbled?
Yeah, he tips the ball. And to me, like, Brady tries that open hand bullshit. Like, the ball's way out.
Mm-hmm.
He, like, tries to complete the follow-through to maybe get, like, an incomplete. And Derek Barnett falls on the ball. And we recover it, like, inside their 30 or 35 something. And I remember being pissed. There's, like, 3 minutes to go, and I'm pissed off. We're up 5. Because I wanted Derek Barnett to scoop and score. Early. Like, I wanted him to scoop and score. I'm like, get up. Score. And because I knew, like, even with Doug Peterson, we were going to play conservative. Because 3 points would make it 8. And then it just becomes, they got to go the full length of the field with no timeouts. Then they got to get the 2. And I'm like, first we got to make the field goal. Like, field goal could get fucking blocked. Like, maybe he misses it. It's like a 45-yarder. It's no PAT. And even after we made it, I still never felt fucking safe. Like, Tom Brady throws an out route. I'll never forget it on the final drive. And Ron Darby reads it perfectly and jumps it on the sideline. And the ball goes straight through his hands. And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, you feel like you have to make every fucking play against that dude. Like, if you give him another chance, it's over. And the ball is in the air on the last play.
Oh, my God. It almost got completed, Gronk.
And the ball had to have been in the air for 17 minutes, bro. Like,
literally.
My heart froze, and the camera turns, and it's Gronk, like, boxing out all these miniature fucks. Like, Ron Darby's on his back. Like, Jalen Mills is, like, on him, like, fucking grabbing his shoulders, and Malcolm Jenkins is back there, and they all, like, jump. And Gronk, like, kind of jumps, but someone's on his back, so he can't get full height. So I'm like, oh, flag's coming out. Like, flag's coming out. And the ball, like, tip, 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 tip. And I see it touch turf, and I'm like, my eyes go to the bottom of the screen. My eyes go to the bottom, and I'm like, no flag.
Final.
Like, no yellow flag, no flag, no flag. And I'm like hovering by my door, and I'm like, no flag.
It just starts.
I storm out, and I sprint the apartment complex, and I'm crying, and Molly comes out, and she's like, I love you. And I'm like,
That's so funny.
Yep, and I took off the day of our parade, and I live in Dallas, just to watch the fucking parade on TV, bro. Like, I took off work just to watch the parade.
That is hilarious, man.
But
yeah, that's what sports
does.
does.
I'm just saying, sports are fucking dope, bro. Like,
I was about to say, and we'll get to another interview at some point. It's crazy what sports do to people. But Kris, it was a great time talking to you. We will do this again.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, we could do this for 7 hours, but
saying.
It is what it is. But at the end of my podcast, this is what it is. Another hour-long conversation with the homies. That's what I do every week on Spittin' Sports. So it was a good time, Kris, and it was good talking to you, man. We out. Hey, let's do a drop real quick. Hey, yo.
Shooting shit with Saint.
Yeah. The pod god is out. Deuce.